Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about the 100, episode 411, titled The Other Side, which premiered Wednesday, May 10, 2017 on the CW, as well as episode 412, called The Chosen, which premiered Wednesday, March 17, 2017 on the CW. So 2 episodes this time, guys, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the 2 episodes, please go do so first, then come back to see what I have to say about both episodes. Otherwise, all my video reminders are up on screen right now, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. With that all said and done, let's start the 20-minute clock and let's begin. First off, quick shout out to Mr. Legendary AO for their latest comments on the last few of my videos. I truly appreciate our replies to one another. It definitely has me thinking of a few things a little more differently. So with that said, let's move on. What happened in 411? So timeline-wise, it's 2 days until the death wave. The episode reminder is the fact that, well, pretty much what is right, doing the right thing or doing what it takes to survive. That's pretty much the question for the whole episode, as this is the episode where the promo showed Bellamy trying to open the door to get to Octavia, who's on the other side. The episode objective, though, is pretty much saving humanity. We have either the notion of the fact that if you open the bunker door, you're essentially letting all the radiation in that kill everybody in the bunker, as well as all the angry grounders that are going to kill all the Arcadians, or you leave the door sealed and save all the Arcadians inside already. So that was pretty much it wasn't just Clark wanting to save her people, it was more that saving her people at the moment ensured the survival of the human race, because they were getting so close to the death wave arriving, and they were afraid that opening the door would have all the radiation leak in type thing. So anyways, episode breakdown for the storylines is pretty much 3 locations, so 3 different storylines going on. The first one has to deal with Polis, or more specifically the Second Dawn bunker. The second one deals with Becca's island, and then the third one deals with back in Arcadia. What's left of Arcadia. So the first storyline deals with the bunker itself. So there was a plan for someone to bring back Bellamy, Octavia, and Kane, as we found out in this episode, to the bunker during the whole conclave issue. But Bellamy was the only one that they could get to without any of the grounders noticing, which makes sense considering Octavia was one of the champions, and she was always in the spotlight type of thing. And then Kane, he had to be there as a representative, as the chancellor of their clan, as for Sky Crew, so everyone kind of had to keep an eye on him. So there's that. So we find out in that episode. Also, we see that Jaha refuses to have Bellamy open the door. Clark is on Jaha's side, and so is Murphy, although Clark is a little hard on the fact that she's on opposite sides with Bellamy on this one. She even says to Nyla later on that this isn't just about saving her people, it's about saving the human race, pretty much. Also, we get Abby helping Bellamy get to the door, which leads to a Clark versus Bellamy showdown. Similar, like I mentioned, that's shown in the promo, where Bellamy's trying to open the door while Clark has a gun on him, when previously in 201 it had Clark trying to open the door with Jasper trying to get her to stop, with Maya by his side with the gun aimed at Clark. So we got a bit of a little parallel there going on, but Clark can't kill Bellamy to stop him, so instead she lets him open the door, where he reunites with Octavia, who is waiting for him on the other side of the door just before all the clans have arrived with their chosen 100. So there's that. Storyline number 2 deals with Becca's island, mainly with Raven. She's trying to finish up her spacesuit so she can go up to space to have her little spacewalk, her final spacewalk. But she also experiences her 3rd seizure of the day. When this happens, she gets a visit from Sinclair, who is telling her to fight to live by getting the residual coding that's in her brain that's causing her to die, by getting it out of her brain, by pretty much rebooting, as they say. So pretty much shutting all brain activity down long enough so that the code dies, and then rebooting it back up. So Raven has to figure out how to do this while by herself, because while she has Becca and Sinclair to keep her company in her head, she technically has to still do things by herself since she's the only one there. So Raven ends up freezing herself for 15 minutes, then she jump starts her heart again to get rid of the receding code in her brain, and then jump starting again so that it regulates her heartbeat. Now she had to do all of this, and she had to rig it so that when she was unconscious, she'd get electrocuted in the water, and then she had to get things close enough that she could get to them in time before things turned bad for her. So that's pretty impressive right there, though, but it was kind of a little touch and go there for Raven there. But there is that. Now, 3rd storyline, dealing back with Arcadia. So you get Monty, who's trying to get everyone to go with him to the bunker. He's the only one wearing a hazmat suit, or to keep the radiation out, while everyone else is dealing with their final 24 hours, as it were. This is also where we see Jasper overdosing with too much Joby nut tea, as well as everyone else who stay behind to die in this sense. And Monty is there for Jasper in his final moments. Now, originally, Harper was going to take the Joby nut tea too, and she had told Monty that she didn't love him, so that he would leave her behind to die, but she eventually changes her mind and at the last minute and reveals that she'll leave with Monty and that she still loves him. So the two are actually on their way to the bunker, both of them in their hazmat suits now. So there's that. Last moments of the episode show Octavia giving Arcadia 12 hours to decide who fills the bunker's 100 slots for Sky Crew, as the death wave will be there in 24 hours. Now, tidbit-wise, Octavia promised 100 people from each clan to go into the bunker as it could fit 1,200. You have to remember that there is no one from Luna's clan to claim it, so instead of 13 clans, you're down to the 12. And also, Octavia upholds Rowan's banishment of Echo by not allowing her inside the bunker. Now, ship status, though, we get Bellamy and Clark. They're tested with each other on opposite sides and just what they will do to get what they want. In the end, though, Clark allows Bellamy to open the door. So there's that. Also, you get a bit of Clark and Nyla when they share a bed together, and this is when Clark confesses to Nyla about it not being about saving her people, but about saving the human race, and why she won't open the door despite Bellamy pretty much doing anything to do that very thing. So, moving on to 412. Timeline-wise, now it's 24 hours left until the death wave hits. So this pretty much, it's essentially 24 hours now until the death wave hits. Pretty much it took a day for Bellamy to open the door in the previous episode from the looks of it. But the episode reminds us the fact that this is the episode where 100 Arcadians had to be chosen to take their spots in the bunker. And the objective of the episode was pretty much fighting to survive, not only for those 100 slots in the bunker, but we also had the people outside fighting to survive or finding a way to survive because they weren't going to get to the bunker in time. So, break down the storyline, though, is the fact that it's two different storylines. The one is what's happening inside the bunker, and the one that's happening outside the bunker. So, inside the bunker, we get Octavia giving the ultimatum of picking 100 Arcadians or they all die, and she gives them a 12-hour window. There are very conflicting ideas about how this should go about. They try to do the lottery, but there's a riot against it. In the end, Kane and Jaha gas every Arcadian and knock them unconscious, and they use Clark's list that she had made back in 403 about the 100 slots. And they use that list to weed out the people that they gas and to separate them as to they're going in or they're going out. Now, Kane goes against Abby's wishes, which were to let her be one of the people who would be left outside, and he keeps her spot inside. So there's that. Now, outside the bunker, you get the second storyline, which is the en route rescue to Raven. Now, this is taken by Bellamy and Clark from the bunker. It's supposed to be a 10-hour trip to the island and then 10 hours back. So they're really, if it's a perfect journey, they should only have 4 hours to spare. That's not the case, though. So with Bellamy and Clark going, we also get John and Amori also going because of the fact that they know that once Bellamy opened the door, they pretty much lost their spot inside the bunker. So they are going to bunk in the panic room or the safe room that Murphy spent 3 months in back on the island. So that's their plan there, though. But in this storyline, we find that Clark's Nightblood doesn't work like they had hoped, or there just isn't enough time to see if it would react just the same way Luna had did, since she initially got radiation poisoning and then her body fought against it. It looks like it looks like Clark is experiencing signs of radiation poisoning, like the coughing up of blood and stuff. But it took time for Luna to fight over that, which they do not have. So we get that kind of confirmation there. We also get Bellamy and Clark getting rescued by Echo when they get attacked by a bunch of grounders who are getting poisoned by the radiation. And then they get picked up by Monty and Harper when they manage to radio with them between the two rovers. So there's that. But because they don't have enough time to get back to the bunker for all of them, Clark has the idea to return to the Ark in space, more specifically something as they call the ring, and they have to get Raven to find a way to get them all up there safely. Now, the last moments of the episode is Raven actually agreeing to get them all back up to the Ark. So this is Bellamy, Clark, Monty, Harper, Raven, Echo, Murphy, and Emori. So that's 8 of them that are now planning to go up on the Ark and try to live there, because apparently there's something there that they could create water. There's some old things that they could use to create plants and stuff like that. The only issue is the fact that they don't have enough fuel to get back down to Earth. But Harper made a point of saying, well, that's a problem for 5 years from now, type of thing. So tidbit-wise, though, Indra is acting like Octavia's second in command, from the looks of it. Octavia has taken the place of commander, also from the looks of it. The culling was mentioned many times as well, which is the 300 sacrificed Arcadians back in season 1 in order to save air before they found out that the 100 were surviving on the ground. Now, Octavia protected Nyla and gave her an Arcadian slot when the Arcadians were forcibly removing Nyla out of the running for one of the 100 spots. Now, we also get a rebellious Arcadian father. Does bring up the question of how long the Grounders could survive within the bunker without the technological background that the Arcadians have. I was very glad that that was brought up, though, because it's a bunker that's run on pretty much how the Ark was run. It's something that the Grounders have no idea about. So how are the Grounders supposed to help run and keep the place running if they don't have anyone to tell them how to, type of thing. Ship status, though. Miller and Jackson. There's definitely something there. Don't know if they're actually together or not, though, but when it came down to knowing who was in the 100 spots, there was a hug between them, I think, when Miller got called. So there's definitely something there. Now, Bellamy and Clark, they were definitely pissed about their fight from the previous episode about her trying to stop him from opening the door, but yet they're concerned for each other, especially when Clark offered to give up her hazmat suit for Emori, exposing herself to the radiation, and Bellamy was just worried about the Nightblood in her not working like they had hoped. Also with Kanan Abbey, we do see him saving her from sacrificing herself when he keeps her for her slot instead of leaving her out to die like she had wished for. So there is that. Moving on, though, the most shocking moment of the episode. 411, I'd have to say, is Jasper's death. I was surprised it actually happened, though it's kind of been something Jasper's been trying for, especially since the premiere of this season. But the way it happened, the fact that we actually saw it, it was surprising. I wasn't expecting it in this episode for sure. And for 412, the most shocking moment of the episode for me was the fact that Bellamy, Clark, and the rest of them want to go back to the Ark and try to survive Prime Fire that way. I was not expecting that. I didn't even think that was a possible option. Yes, to get up there, since Raven, that's what she was trying to do, but to actually live up there, I thought that the whole Ark came down with it. Then you remember that not all of it came down, because for a moment, Jaha was up there by himself for like 2 episodes or so. So there's still part of the Ark up there. But don't know if it's salvageable, don't know if they're still able to live off of that, though. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if that's even possible. So there is that. And just the idea never came to me, so that was a surprising thing there. Moving on, though, to top 3 favorite moments. From 411, I definitely have to say I really loved Bellamy's reunion with Octavia. It was very powerful. It was definitely something they were both fighting towards. He was definitely fighting for a chance to see his sister again. So it was great to see that happen. It's great to see them have that, despite what it means for every Arcadian from the looks of it. Also, another favorite thing that I like was that Raven got a visit by St. Clair, which gives her the will to fight. And I really like that we got to see kind of like an angel and devil on your shoulder type of situation with St. Clair versus Becca inside Raven's head. So it was really interesting to see that. But it was great to see Raven have that a familiar face with her and fighting for her corner, because it's definitely, with St. Clair dying last season, it was a relationship I really miss. We were just starting to see the dynamic between him and Raven, and so it was great to see a little bit of that in his visit in that episode. So there is that. Another favorite of mine has to be Clark and Murphy, just from the fact that he's telling her that he's on her side, and the fact that he knows that it's going to be difficult for Clark to kind of be against Bellamy in a sense. So I don't know. It's always interesting when the two of them team up together. I mentioned it before. I really enjoy seeing that. They've definitely come a long way. So that's one of my favorites. And another favorite thing I had, it's kind of on a depressing note though, but in Jasper's final moments, he was worrying over Monty. When Monty took off his helmet, Jasper's like, no, don't do that. He was finally being worried about Monty. Previously, it's always been about Jasper, and he just didn't care about anybody else. But in his final moments, when he already knew he was dying, he finally it sucks that it took for him to die in those moments in order for him to start worrying about Monty and stuff. And it's very heartbreaking, especially for Monty, essentially, because this is someone he considered a brother, and he was pretty much having him die in his arms when he was trying to fight so hard for the both of them to survive. So I like that it sucks that it took for Jasper to die for him to finally consider Monty or to even be concerned over Monty. I'm glad it finally happened as opposed to not happening at all. So there's that. Now for 412, my favorite moment or favorite series of moments has to be Bellamy's concern for Clark. He, especially when they're out en route to get Raven, you see this when Bellamy grabs a knife and he instantly goes for the grounder that's attacking Clark, and he kills the grounder in that instant. Also, when Clark sacrifices her helmet again for Amori, you see Bellamy's worry for Clark over the fact that now she's exposed to radiation, and then when she starts coughing up blood due to the poisoning, you see the concern on his face. And I really like that despite the fact that they're kind of pissed, he's kind of pissed at her for trying to stop him from getting to Octavia in the previous episode, that his worry for her overrides that in a bit. And they kind of talked it out in the rover before they got attacked by grounders, so it's great to see that they didn't leave it to stew and have it worsen between them, but they actually talked about it, essentially, if that makes sense. Second favorite part that I had was great in seeing Octavia taking control, even though she was a little worried that she wouldn't do the job well, but it was great to see Indra having her back and just to have Octavia commanding that presence, especially when she had to assert her authority against Jaha and the rest of Sky Crew. It was really great to see her confidence in that moment. It's only when she's with Indra and they're alone that you could see the hesitance in Octavia about how she's not meant for this, or she doesn't think she's meant for this role and stuff like that, or she didn't earn the position. But when it's in front of an audience, or if it's in front of people that need to know who's in control, she definitely does it. And it would be very interesting to see her continue on as commander of the whole bunker, considering she's still off the notion that they are all one clan. So there is that. Also, a third favorite moment of mine for the episode is Raven's reaction to seeing her friends when they return to save her. It's at the very end of the episode, and Raven's thinking that no one's going to come for her. She has the clock down going. It's at 0 timer. There's no way she's able to escape from the looks of it. And then she sees these 7 figures in hazmat suits at the top of the stairs, and they all take off their helmets, and you just see this odd look on Raven's face, like, I can't believe you guys came back for me. I really love that moment. In a moment when she felt alone and scared, she just got all the people left that she was very close to when she first came down. I guess the remaining 100 group. I wish Miller was there, though. We can't have him there. He's safe in the bunker. But it was just great to have that reaction from her, especially after the ordeal she went through in the previous episode. So there is that. Moving on, though, to top 3 peeved moments, though. From 411, I'd have to say one peeve of mine was Jaha feeling no remorse over his actions to cut off the bunker's access to everyone outside. It was just that it definitely, I mean, I understand him wanting to save his people, but, like, some of his people were outside, he just didn't care. As long as he was inside, he was safe, type of thing. So it was it was irritating for me. It also connects to another peeve that I have of him in 412, but I'll get to that in a moment. Another 411 peeve I had was the fact that we got to see Monty being in pain over the fact that Jasper has died. I don't want that to happen for Monty. We already had him deal with that when his mom died, or when he had to kill his mom to save Octavia. So it's always tough seeing Monty in pain, that's for sure. Now moving to 412, though, again about Jaha. I didn't like the fact that he insisted that he can't see 364 Arcadians die because they had to be pushed out of, because that exceeded the 100 slot. And yet that was pretty much the same amount of people that he had to sacrifice during the culling in season 1. I mean, what is truly the difference here? You still sacrifice 300 of your own people up on the Ark to save your own skin. Yet down here, you can't really do the same thing. It's either you do that or 100 of people of your die, and none of you get saved because you would have all been killed by not obeying to Octavia's ultimatum. So just, it's like you do one thing in season 1, and then you kind of omit that you did it, and you pretty much repeat it, and yet it's like you didn't learn anything from the first time. Like if that makes sense. I hope it does, though. But another thing I had an issue with in that episode was Abby wanting to sacrifice herself, or pretty much sacrificing her spot. Yes, it's selfless of her to want to give up her slot in the 100 to someone else, but I consider it kind of selfish considering she's the best doctor inside the whole bunker. So if Abby's not in there, she's pretty much jeopardizing everyone's health inside, because what happens if someone gets an infection? What happens if someone needs surgery or something? It's Abby that everyone has always gone to. She's the head doctor, and that's pretty much going to be the same for all the Grounder clans as well. And her not wanting to be inside the bunker is like saying you're kind of depriving humanity, in a sense, of a qualified doctor. Yes, Jackson's there though, but he's her assistant for a reason, or he's always assisted her for a reason. So it's kind of like, it's like, I get you wanting to give your spot to someone more deserving in your eyes, but technically you're the one that everyone should want to have a spot, because in the long run, they're going to need you. As a doctor, they are going to need you, type thing. So there's that. Moving on, though, to what moment will I remember most when I look back on these two episodes? 411, I will remember Bellamy's journey to try to open the bunker door for everybody and his struggles to do that. And in 412, I'm going to remember everybody trying to fill the last 100 spots. Everyone, and it's also kind of like an ironic thing, I guess you can say, because when everyone found out about the list, everyone gave Clark grief over it, and yet it's the very thing that they used in the very end. I don't know why they didn't do that to begin with, but I guess they needed an episode. But anyways, random questions. I do have a lot of questions, though. So based off of 411, I have a question of what clan does Nyla and Amori's spot come from? I guess you kind of figure that out now, though, but it still begs the question. Amori's not in the bunker anymore, though, but Nyla, she is there. And did Clark count her as one of the 100 on her list, or how is that happening there? Or is she still safe because of Octavia? Don't know about that, though. Next question. How exactly are they going to evict 300 Arcadians from the bunker? Again, we already figured that out, though. They gassed them and they took them out. So, or they took out the ones that they weren't on the list and kind of did it that way. But how exactly did they do that? Did they literally drag them outside and then leave them at the door and then just lock it afterwards? I mean, I don't know. Next question. It looks like the list... Nope. Next one. Well, will Monty, Harper, and Raven make it to the bunker in time? From the looks of it, no. Again, keep in mind, I made these questions for 411 before 412 was aired. I just didn't read them until now. But my 412 questions, though, were, when will Octavia realize that Bellamy won't be returning to the bunker? Or what about Abby realizing the same thing about Clark? Another question is there a backup plan if going back up to the Ark isn't an option? And third question is, would the Ark's ring get a signal to the bunker, the radio-wise? I hope so, because it would kind of suck if they're completely cut off from their people on the ground. But we'll have to wait and see about that. So, based off predictions, though, very quickly, based off the promo for 413, it is the countdown to our delinquents trying to find their way back to the Ark. We get a Clark and Bellamy hug. It also looks like Clark is outside without a suit for some reason, and it looks like Bellamy and Octavia are on the radio, and they're talking about waiting to hear from each other in 5 years' time. Based off the synopsis, though, for the season finale, it reads that it's a race against the end of the world as Prime Fire arrives, forcing our heroes to make impossible decisions to ensure their survival. I have no idea what else to expect in this finale. I'm just glad to know it's a season finale and that we are going to get a season 5. But it has me wondering where we'll see season 5, if we'll get a time jump. I hope we don't get a time jump, but I'll talk about that in my next video when I'm talking about the season finale. So anyways, any other news that's coming up, guys, since I don't have any other predictions to go with, but it was revealed last week at the CW Upfronts that the 100 is returning as a mid-season return for season 5. So probably January or sometime after January, we won't be seeing the continuation of the show until then, though. So it really has me more amped up for what the season finale could give us. So with that all said, guys, what did you guys think of the 2 episodes? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and opinions about what you think is going to happen in the season finale. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I reblog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. So go check out that below for the 2 links for the episode. I'm a little behind, but I will catch up after the finales have aired this week, and I posted my opinions about them. So with that all said, it's also connected to my WordPress account. Everything I post online is updated there. It's a work in progress, so keep that in mind, but it is more organized, so check it out if you like. Now that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next time to hear what I have to say about the season finale. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.